Syracuse University Libraries.
Expand your knowledge with the Academic Minute. Each day, travel with us around the world to learn what professors are researching within their specialties and be the first in the know. Listen as we discover the newest green innovations, research the behavioral patterns of animals, and examine how the arts are being studied today. You'll find it all on the Academic Minute.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, your community hospital with a rich heritage that dates back to before New Mexico was a state. We've been improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910. As a nonprofit hospital, San Juan Regional Medical Center is a values-driven organization. We strive to deliver on our mission to personalize health care and create vitality and enthusiasm in healing. We are here for you when you need us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services. 12 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Friday morning on KSJE, March 15th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin, and thank you for tuning in. And thanks, of course, to our viewers who are now watching us live from our visual radio studio on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Coming up in just a moment, our topic this morning, we are talking about the Volunteer Incentive Program here in San Juan County, a great way for student groups and others to get involved and help the community, and a great way for others to donate money to help this program. We'll explain all of that in just a moment here on KSJE. Then later on this hour, around 8:50, we will check in with Wally D. and Wally D Sports. He is joining us live from the pit in Albuquerque this morning to give us an up-to-the-minute update on the local prep sports teams who are at the state basketball tournament. So we'll find out how the teams are doing from the pit live this morning around 8:50 right here on KSJE. At 9 a.m., it is Roving with the Arts with Mick Hess. He'll be on after the news, of course, and today he is playing a little night music for you. The original Broadway cast recording that you will hear today, 9:06 on KSJE. Jumping ahead to noon, it's our Friday Spotlight program. We're rebroadcasting the interview I had yesterday with Farmington City Manager Rob Mays about the San Juan Generating Station and what the City of Farmington is attempting to do to prolong the life of that power plant. We'll talk with him, and you'll hear that today at 12:06 on KSJE. Then at 12:30, it's our storytelling program, produced with our partners at the Farmington Public Library, Cuentos, Hana, and Tales. Here's some great stories coming up today at 12:30 on KSJE. That's coming up today. Don't forget, of course, you can connect with us on the KSJE social media platforms, on Facebook, of course, or check out our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, of course, and our new page on Instagram as well. And, of course, all of our visual radio programs wind up in the archive on our Facebook page and YouTube channels as well. So let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning in the studio to talk about the Volunteer Incentive Program. That is Eli Broady Pavlik is here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in to talk about this program. And you were just telling me you're relatively new to your position as director of the Volunteer Incentive Program.
That's right. I'm green. I've only been doing this for about 2 months now.
Okay.
And but I'm excited about progress that's been made already, and excited for the future.
Good for you. And this is something that you sought them out almost, right? To ask about this position and something that you really believe in.
Yeah, that's right. Volunteer Incentive Program has existed in various forms for quite a few years now in San Juan County, and it's been gaining some steam, and I've always been impressed with the idea of it. And so recently I reached out to them and inquired whether they might want to take it to the next level, maybe put somebody on staff, and they thought that might be a good idea. So that kind of brings us to where we are today.
Apparently you're very persuasive.
Well,
because here you are. Well, it's a great program, and we talked about it before on KSJE, but it's always great to talk about it again to remind people that this program exists in the community as a way for, as I mentioned, I think, student groups and other nonprofit groups to do good deeds in the community and get paid for it. It's kind of like a fundraising idea, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we think that there are a lot of groups, teams, Girl Scout troops, bands and orchestras that are already using the Volunteer Incentive Program to fund their activities. but we think that there are potentially a lot of other groups throughout San Juan County that still might need to learn about our program and still might be interested in joining up with us. Because, yeah, we're offering a way for student groups, whether they're affiliated with schools or not. They could be affiliated with churches, sports teams. We're offering them a way to earn money for their activities, that in a way that might be a little bit more meaningful than some of the fundraisers that I brought home to my parents when I was going through school. And yeah, so that's sort of the idea, and we're hoping that people will really catch on.
Right, that's the key difference, right? So it gets rid of some of the bake sales, the candy bar sales, the magazines. I don't even still sell magazines door to door anymore, but that is what I remember when I was a kid in school. But it gets rid of some of those things and instead kind of hooks up these student groups with maybe a need in the community or some other volunteer effort that can really improve the community, whether it's maybe a yard cleanup or some other things that you can then match them with. Is that the idea?
Yeah, exactly. And part of the program then is to promote a love of community, to promote the idea of community service in our youth, and to give our kids, to reinforce the idea that, well, if you want to go to Albuquerque for your Science Bowl, or if you want to go to Las Cruces for the baseball tournament, that's great. And as a community, we want to support you. And here's a way for you to kind of have a stake in that. Here's a way for you to put your skin in the game and earn that money in a way that benefits your own community as well.
So the groups are giving back a little bit.
Exactly.
Through these projects. Give us an example of some of the projects that the kids are doing in the community that folks may notice if they're out driving around, perhaps.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of pretty creative projects.
Right.
Some of my favorites. I've just been in this for a little bit of time, but some of the coolest ones I've seen. One I really like is when high school sports teams put on free camps for youth. So if you're like a baseball team,
right.
I've seen this happen where they put on for kids for a Saturday afternoon. I've seen some other cool ones. We just had a group of first graders from Country Club Elementary make a whole bag full of tie-dye shirts to donate to the San Juan County, or to the San Juan Regional Medical Center pediatric ward.
They're very
for
nice.
The kids there.
Okay.
Wow, some other good. Tonight, actually, at the Sycamore Community Center, there's kind of a fun and games night, which is being supported by the Farmington Student Senate, Farmington High School Student Senate. They're going to be hosting games for kids that want to come by and blow off some steam tonight on a Friday night.
Okay.
So that's another great project, and we pay $10 an hour per student volunteering towards the organization. So if you get 10 kids out there for 2 hours, I'm doing the math, I think that's $200.
It's early, but I think you're right. Yeah, so that's awesome. And again, that is how folks can maybe calculate just kind of how much the potential is that they could raise, I suppose, for their group, right?
Right. And another thing that's kind of cool, there's a lot of things that are cool about this program. Another one that is, for donors, if you're buying popcorn boxes or Girl Scout cookies or what have you, only a fraction of your money is going to the group that you're trying to support with your money. When you volunteer, or when you donate to the volunteer incentive program, all of the money that you donate goes straight to the organizations in San Juan County that need your help.
Right.
And so there's really no third party, there's no intermediary. We're just funneling funds to student organizations.
Sure, and that is an important second part of the conversation, is that in addition to the student groups that are being helped by this program, others who want to donate can also give money to support the volunteer incentive program, and that's some of that money that you use for that $10 an hour.
Yeah, and we have individuals and families that are our donors. We receive money from foundations and businesses as well. One piece of the program that we hope will gain a little bit of steam is some businesses have decided to streamline their community building departments by making a donation to a volunteer incentive program and then sending kids. A lot of businesses get requests from all kinds of teams and student organizations for donations, and it can be kind of hard to keep up with all of that. It can be kind of hard to support everybody that you want to support. But businesses do want to give back to their community, and by making a donation to the volunteer incentive program, they have a way to do that, and then they can send kids our way and say, we've made a donation to VIP, go get your money. It's there waiting for you. come up with whatever cool, volunteer activity you want to do, and the money's there.
Right. So that's another way to do it. And so for folks who are watching us this morning, Eli, they can give you a call or send an email or whatever the case may be, right, to get in touch, to make a donation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or to sign up to be a group that wants to go out and do something for the community?
Yep. Give me a call. Get in touch with me on email. We've got a website called volunteerincentiveprogram.org. And that has more information as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, there are all kinds of ways to get in touch, and we encourage people to do that.
All right. Phone number, everybody, is 505-402-1839.
That's right.
402-1839 for radio listeners, or you can send an email to info@volunteerincentiveprogram.org. And that's the way to get a hold of you.
That's exactly
for any of these questions, right? Whether you want to be a volunteer or you want to give you money.
Yeah, we don't have too many departments in the
No,
the apparatus right now. It's just me. So call me, email me. I'll answer all your questions.
I'm waiting for your phone to light up right now, but so far it's not.
Come on, people.
All right, but that's okay. That's all right. But that's how you do it, everybody. It is the Volunteer Incentive Program. And again, this has been around for a couple of years in San Juan County, if I remember correctly. And it's kind of growing. I think it's been growing every year as word of it gets out.
Yeah, we've had the program started quite a few years ago, actually.
Did it? Okay.
George and Melissa Sharp, some of the friends of the program, they started this program sort of as individuals. They
just wanted to do something.
Right.
I think George wanted to stop buying candy bars or something.
I think so. And you'd have to talk to him about why.
Right.
But 2 years ago is when VIP got official nonprofit status.
Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
And sort of became, I guess, more of an entity.
Sure.
Officially. And yeah, exactly right. We're hoping to expand. We think there's still a lot of people in San Juan County that might benefit from the program that aren't using us currently.
Right.
So that's the hope, that more people will become involved.
And that's an important milestone, is getting that nonprofit status, because that means that you have met a certain amount of standards that donors can feel comfortable with when they're giving you money, that it's going to go to the people that you say it's going to, and help in the community, and your overhead is pretty low, and all of those things.
Yeah, and we've been very lucky that the way the program is set up, you're right, the overhead is very low, and the money, you're exactly right, the money just goes straight to the student organizations, which is awesome. Exactly.
My guest this morning, we're talking about the Volunteer Incentive Program throughout San Juan County, and it's open to, as you mentioned, any student group pretty much, although they don't have to be related to a school group. It could be, as you mentioned, a sports group, a church group, youth group, doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as your group is kids under the age of 18 or up to the age of 18,
right?
You're eligible to participate. And if you send a request through our website, it comes to me and I can approve your activity.
Right.
You just have to dream up the activity that you want to do, and we'll get you off and running.
Okay. And does it need to be a group of people? Could it be just an individual? Like if my kid has an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. for some kind of scholastic thing that they've been awarded, but we need help paying for travel, is that something that the group could help with as well?
That's a great question, Scott.
Actually,
yes. So we also fund individual projects. And individual projects are funded up to a maximum of $200 per student. And the only stipulation there is if you're an individual and you want to go to gymnastics competition in Kansas City, or you want to go to church camp in Santa Fe, whatever it is, you can do a volunteer project with us, and we pay at $10 an hour as well. But we make the check out to whatever the activity that you're going to is. So if we would make it out to the gymnastics camp, we just wouldn't write it to the kid.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
But yes, we do fund individual projects, and if you've got a dream that you want to raise some money for, you should get in touch with the Volunteer Incentive Program, and we'll help you out. Okay, there you go. And that's the max is $200, so that's about 20 hours of community work. Exactly. That's how that math works out. It's so early. I'm so proud of myself for doing this math. We're getting along pretty well. I know. We're doing okay. Keeping my shoes on and everything. I don't have to count my toes yet, but that's good. But that's how it works. Right. That's really how it is. Since you mentioned that, I should also mention that for groups, the maximum donation that we can make right now is $600.
Okay.
So that's 60 hours of community service for a soccer team or a Girl Scout troop or whatever the case may be.
Sure, but in many cases that can make a really big difference for that
Yeah,
group
and
if they're
60
trying
hours
to
is,
do something.
60
you know?
hours is quite a bit. Like if you're going to blow past that, like you're doing a lot of community service. Good for you.
That's true. That's very true. And again, to get in touch with you, there's the phone numbers on the screen, everybody, and the email address for the Volunteer Incentive Program, which we were talking about. And there's no ever deadline, right? If folks have an idea, they can apply anytime throughout the year, right? They don't have to apply by a certain deadline or anything because you accept applications all the time.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, very good. Let's take a short break.
All right, sounds good.
When we come back, more with my guest about the Volunteer Incentive Program in just a moment right here on KSJE.
After deadly crashes, added scrutiny for Boeing